All right, so here what we're going to do is we are going to first, for these definite integrals, we are going to use our integral rules, and then we're going to plug in our upper bound minus our lower bound. So my upper bound here is the 0 or the 2, and then the lower bound is 0. But before I even worry about that, I'm going to think about how do I just integrate negative z and the plus 6. So the negative z will go to add 1 to the exponent, so 2 over the new exponent of 2. And then plus the 6 is a standalone constant, so we're going to add on to that. That will give us a 6z. And here we're not going to write the plus c. And the reason why we're not going to write the plus c is because we have bounds. So instead of writing the plus c, this is the notation we're going to write. We're going to do a bracket, and then we're going to write down the bound of 0 to 2. And basically what this bracket tells us is to evaluate this at the 0 and the 2. So this is the notation that we use for plugging in the 2 minus the plugging in the 0. So what you're going to do is you integrate. You use your integral rules. Then you're going to plug in your upper bound, which I'm going to refer to as u, minus the lower bound. Now, I like to put the lower bound in a bracket. The reason why I do that is because if there is a negative, I need to distribute that negative. So I like to put it in a big bracket in case there is a distribute step out there for me later. So my upper bound is 2. So I'm going to take 2 and plug it in for those z's. So I'm going to have negative 2 squared over 2 plus 6 times 2. So that's just taking 2, plugging it into the antiderivative. Then I say minus, and then I'm going to plug in my lower bound, which was just 0. So my lower bound plugged in will be negative 0 squared over 2 plus 6 times 0. So then I have a bunch of arithmetic to do. And this is where it's not so fun. I mean, it's kind of tedious work, but what you'll do is you'll take the negative 2 squared divided by 2, and you can just use your calculator for this. That is totally fine. That's going to give you negative 4 over 2, so you get negative 2 plus the 6 times 2 gives you 12. And then in this particular problem, the 0 squared goes to 0, the 6 times 0 goes to 0. So it's just going to be negative 2 plus 12, and that will give us 10 as our definite integral. So the final answer is just 10. That's all you need to plug in. But on your test, this is really important. There are ways to do this with graphing calculators and so on, but in business calc, we really want you to know this process. So on your test, you're going to need to find the function and then also show the upper bound minus the lower bound plugged in. So all those steps do need to be shown.